Hey guys, Top here. I've got a fun video for you today from the first tournament that I played way back in BWE3 with my guildmates on my rifle engineer build. You can check out the build guide that I made for this build by watching the video that's linked in the annotation. So going into the match, we didn't really properly plan our strategy. We did a 3-2 split with me and our ranger going to try to steal the chieftain, but our guardian didn't have the symbol swiftness down right at the start. So we're missing some of the swiftness, and we take sort of a weird route on our way to the boss. So as you can see here, we ran out of swiftness pretty well ahead of time. And by the time we get there, he's pretty low. I go ahead and I try to use my grenade burst to do a lot of burst damage and try to take him down. But as you can see here, we just barely have the burst come in a little bit too early, and so we don't actually manage to steal the kill. If we did have a better route, we got there a little bit sooner, then Rindar would have been able to probably use his axes to do some extra damage, apply those beats a little bit earlier, and we might have actually been able to steal it. But anyway, we go ahead and start fighting them now. Now that we're obviously outnumbered, they have all 5 of their players here, and I'm getting focused really hard. I go ahead and I drop my elite to try and interrupt them, but I'm getting hammered really hard here. And as you can see, then I actually had my Runes of Svanir proc, and that made me invulnerable for a second. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to use my Elixir R to break the invulnerable or the stun part of the invulnerability, and then I'm still invulnerable, so I can use my Elixir C to clear all those conditions, heal up, and start to cut back away. Only a couple of them actually follow us. Rindar peels off towards the henge, and this Necromancer actually follows me. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go down, so I go ahead and I throw my Elixir R underneath myself and interrupt his stomp. And that buys me enough time for that Elixir R to go ahead and tick and heal me. And so I get back up. I go ahead and I start to heal myself up and start to DPS him down. And as I'm applying conditions to him, it actually sort of backfires on me because he's able to consume those conditions and get a big heal off. And as you can see here, he actually goes into Death Shroud form. And what that's going to do is, since he's a relatively standard condition spec, it's actually going to apply quite a few debuffs on me, and so that actually puts me way behind here. You can see that I've already got weakness, poison, chill, and the bleeds that he already had going on me. So I'm in a pretty big disadvantage here. When I knock him away, for some reason, I guess he isn't paying attention to how much health I have, and even though I go down, he just runs the other way. I guess I'm just terrifying, and so I mean, I'm able to heal myself back up, and somebody dies somewhere nearby, and that rallies me. So I go ahead and I head towards the henge where Rindar managed to take down this guardian, and so we're pretty much ahead at this point. We managed to get the mine, and because of the fact that me and Rindar peeled back towards the henge, basically they had to make a decision. They had to either commit more resources towards killing us, which is sort of hard to do because of the Runes of Svanir, as you saw, or they could have gone to the keep and tried to commit to getting the keep. They tried to get the keep, and so we were able to backcap the henge, and our team actually managed to win at the keep as well. So we're up in basis as well now, even though I don't know, I guess we're a little bit down in points, but we're making that up pretty quickly. Now, I'm going ahead and I'm trying to get up to this Necromancer. He's actually probably the most threatening one on their team, just in terms of how much damage he was able to actually do over the fight. And, I'm trying to peel off a little bit just because I'm worried. And then at this point, Rindar has actually gone down, and I'm thinking, okay, I can, throw my Elixir R because it's back up. And I stupidly, walk into this sanctuary a couple times. Now, the sanctuary, it's a little bit weird if you actually, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see that there isn't a red circle around the edge, and obviously, after the first time I bumped into it, I should have been like, oh, okay, enemy one. But I think they do need to do something to make it a little bit more clear if it's an enemy one or an allied one before I, bump into it. Anyway, I waste enough time that I'm not able to actually save Rindar, unfortunately. But at this point, we sort of have like a scrappy fight in the middle here. I probably should have backed out, and because our guardian is a super tank healing support guardian, and he could have taken the damage, but I was a little bit concerned about him, and so I wanted to split their attention up a little bit. And I'm pretty confident about not being able to go down very easily myself either. But basically, the reason why I'm trying to stay towards the middle is because, you know, my understanding was that the symbols that our Guardian was putting out were going to be helping me a lot more. But basically what it's doing is, since I'm strafing around, this camera keeps popping in and out, and that's really limiting my ability to see what's going on around me. Now right here, I've actually gotten low enough on health again that my Runes of Svanir have procced again. And, you know, I'm able to again use Elixir R to drink it and then heal up again. And then I start getting low again, so I go ahead and I throw the Elixir R at the ground again, and between that and the Guardian actually trying to res me a little bit, I'm able to get back up. Now, since we're fighting at the henge, this is the base that's closest to the blue team spawn point, and as a result, they're sort of just funneling in here, and as you can see right here, they've actually got 4 different players here, just to the 2 of us. So we're probably not actually going to be able to down any of them. Now, if we had coordinated a little bit better, we might have been able to down one, but as I said, my Guardian is sort of in a support build, so he can't really put out too much DPS, especially if he's trying to keep both me and himself up. And but the point is that since we're outnumbered here, we outnumber their team on the rest of the map, and so we're able to take those other 2 nodes and start to get a pretty significant point lead, as you can continue to see here. Now, their Elementalist actually is going to peel off in a second here. I guess he just realized that it's sort of stupid to waste time here with the 2 of us. But it's still 3 players to theirs, too. Shinji actually goes down here, but I managed to get him up just in time right before this Guardian's Banish knocks me out of the park. And at this point, you can actually see something where we screw up. So Nightmare Shroud is in his Death Shroud form, but he's actually really low on health, and what I should have done is I should have called target on him so that we could keep track of him. Now, when I throw my grenades here, for some reason it actually switched my target by itself. I thought I had auto target off, but this is something that I guess you should be careful of, and for some reason my target got changed. And so I lost the target on Nightmare Shroud, and I wasn't really paying that much attention, so I'm not able to continue to do it, and because I'm walking around here in the henge, I lose track of where he ran just because I'm really focused on trying to keep Shinji up and using my grenades and sort of dropping things around over here. Here you can see that I try to churn really quickly, so I swung my mouse around to try to face this Guardian here to knock him back with my overcharge shot, but unfortunately, since you can't churn while you're not moving with the right mouse button, I'm actually not turned, even though the camera's turned. I'm still facing this way, and so what ends up happening, since I don't even have an enemy targeted, I shoot that way, and unfortunately it doesn't actually knock any of the enemies away, and so that basically loses us this fight because Shinji is going to go down, and then I don't really have a chance in a 3v1, so that's unfortunate. But still, look at the score. We are now at 245 to their 137, and that's pretty good. Now at this point I'm down, and the players we held off here are free to go out. Our ranger managed to steal the chieftain from one of them, and they managed to kill him, but we can see that they're all heading in a big group towards the keep, so I take a quick glance over at the mine before I head over to the keep to help out. Now this is actually a pretty scrappy fight because it's a 4v4, so it's a little bit messy. I come in here, I just start dropping grenades to try and deal some damage, and jump in, just trying to help CC everyone. I see Nightmare Shrouds here, and so I go ahead and I knock him out. Use net shot to hold him still, and then jump shot into him. And I do manage to get him pretty low. Unfortunately, he uses his heal and his Death Shroud. At this point, I notice that our Necromancer has gone down, and so I roll forward. I use Blunderbuss, which actually does manage to down 2 of their players, and try to start to revive him, but this Necromancer actually lands a pretty clutch fear on me. Now, I'm afraid that he's going to be able to stomp, so what I go ahead and I do is I drop my throw Elixir R on top of our Necromancer, and that helps to really quickly pick up our Necromancer. Now notice that our poor Mesmer over there is down as well. I actually didn't notice him, so I just go in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to stomp this player since they have 2 of their players down, and you can see here that one of their players is reviving the Elementalist that got downed. And so I go ahead and I go for the stomp, and this Elementalist actually lands this super clutch gust on me the second he gets up, and so that cancels that. I go ahead and I try to knock back to cancel the revive on the other player, but then they're up, so again, now all their team is back up. So I go ahead and I revive our Mesmer, and keep in mind that the Mesmer's down state 2 actually makes a little fake version of them, and it is hilarious. They actually spend the time to stomp the fake one, and I'm able to revive our Mesmer. This Meteor Storm actually manages to down 2 of our players, so we're in a little bit of a weird spot. I do manage to start to revive our Guardian, and we're panicking a little bit, but our Mesmer White Light actually manages to get this really clutch mass invisibility off, and so as you can see, both of our down players were stealth. Unfortunately, our Necromancer actually started attacking again, so it broke the stealth. But I was able to get a stealth revive off on our Guardian, and of course Guardians are awesome, so he's not going to go down again. He manages to revive our Necromancer, and then the battle continues. Now, at this point, our Ranger has actually gone ahead and went all the way over to the Henge, 1v1 the player that they had there, and took over it. That's actually been the only kill that has happened in like the last 2 minutes of battle. So their Guardian that was fighting here actually peeled off, so now it's a 4v3, and that allows us to actually pretty readily clean this up. I'm going to go ahead and cut forward a bit, since we basically just take the node after cleaning up those players and then head over to Svanir since the blue team's going after him. The Grenade Kit's pretty good at nabbing these kills on the bosses. I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one applying vulnerability here to Svanir via my trait from the grenades. And as you can see, I get him to about 16 stacks of vulnerability, and I'm dealing probably about 7,000 direct damage as well as a bunch of burns. And I'm also doing pretty decent damage to the Guardian standing underneath. So that's why I like to use the grenades. They do pretty decent damage to the boss as well as anyone else who's attacking him. The burns from incendiary powder actually got nerfed, so there's an internal cooldown on it. You can't actually get as many burns as I did here. So I probably wouldn't spam the grenades as much anymore. Using the blunderbuss from the rifle would have been a better choice. It probably would have, like if it got a crit, then it probably would have done around 3,000 damage to each of them just from that one ability. But the grenades are still pretty solid. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry the gameplay's a little bit scrappy because we haven't really had time to really coordinate and get practicing as a team. But you can expect pretty awesome stuff from Maven once we get serious. In terms of videos that are coming up, I'm hoping to get out a Necromancer guide as well as a dagger-focused Elementalist guide because, why not? No one else is really doing dagger-focused stuff. Before launch, as well as a video with some general tips on creating builds. It might get a little bit hairy trying to finish all that with work and wedding prep, getting married on Head Start Day. So I won't be playing too much right at launch, but hopefully I can get some videos out for you guys before launch, and I'll see you guys soon afterward. Bye.